Hey guys, this video is about helping you select the right material for you. The material which is going to help you improve your listening skills, improve your pronunciation, but more than that, something that is going to help you feel good about your English. Because one of the biggest mistakes that we can make when we are learning a second language, in our case here, English, is to pick up the wrong material. And what do I mean by that, the wrong material? Well, you see, when you pick up a video in which the actor, the performer, the speaker is someone with a difficult accent, a person who speaks too fast or who doesn't pronounce the words clearly. Because you see, as learners of this language, this can be a very frustrating experience. So, for two reasons. One is that, first of all, we miss a lot of stuff. And second, because it makes it very difficult for us to use that as a kind of a reference. So that, what I mean is that we've got to pay attention to the way native speakers speak, and then we try to model them. We try to speak the way they speak. And sometimes that's difficult depending on who we use as a reference. Well, so here in this video, we've got Will Smith. This is an extract from a YouTube channel. I'm sorry. This is an extract from a Facebook channel called the Red Table Talk, hosted by his wife, Jada. And in this particular episode, Will was invited to come, and this is kind of a Father's Day celebration. So basically, they invited Will to come, and they talked to Will about being a son, being a father, and all, basically his history with parenthood, but also about his thoughts on the subject. And the reason why I decided to bring this to this video lesson here, it's because Will is a great speaker. And it's really interesting because, of course, I've known Will Smith for a long time. I've seen lots of films of his, and I know he's a great actor and so on. But it's really interesting because only now I realize that I have actually never paid attention to what an amazing speaker he is, because he speaks the language so clearly. And you know, at moments, you will see in the video, it sounds like he's speaking to an audience of non-native speakers, because he really pronounces each word so carefully, you know, and at such a good pace that it makes almost impossible for us not to understand. And in this particular video here, I decided to leave the subtitles on because I thought that would make it even a more didactic experience for you guys watching this video. So let's take a look. Let's enjoy a little bit of the video together. So I started. I paused this video at a point where Jada is going to ask him a very, very interesting question. She's going to ask him a question about parenthood. And it's really cool to see the answer that he delivers. It's really cool to see the way he responds to it. So let's take a look at it.
How do you think we can help fathers feel better about their fathering?
I think there are a couple of cultural roadblocks to fathering. In the Black community specifically, fathering has been somewhat assaulted, and there have been historical and systemic hurdles to African American fatherhood.
Yeah.
And attempts to dismantle it systemically.
Yeah.
It's a touchy area to talk about, and I'm not relinquishing the responsibility. Let me say first and foremost, if you have kids, take care of your kids, do whatever you have to do as a man to father your children.
Right.
Now, with that said, there's a necessity that mothers make room for fathers. Mothers have the kids. They're yours. They're yours. It's hard. I can't get them from you.
Yep.
You know.
You own that.
Okay, you own them.
it.
Those are your kids. They
Yep.
came from your body. They're yours.
Right.
I can't father if you don't make room for me and you don't support me.
That's true.
And you have to make room for me in my imperfections. You can't say you're going to make room for me if I get perfect, because I'm not perfect and I'm not going to get perfect.
And never.
Okay, and at this point, I would like you to reflect about Will's answer. So basically speaking, Jada was asking him a very simple question. How can we help parents around the world to be better parents? In other words, how can we contribute to this subject? And then Will started explaining, he started talking about this cultural thing in America. But I think that the most important thing is when he touches the father mother relationship, because he understands and he expresses that very clearly, that once a woman has a child, so it's like it's really interesting, because the way he expresses that idea, it sounds like it's like a child is something like I don't want to say an object, but they own the child, because it's their baby, you know, it grew inside them, and it belongs to them. I think that the verb I'm looking for here is the verb to belong. So a child belongs to their mother, and he as a father, he understands that. But in order to be a parent, in order to be a father, mothers have to make room for the fathers to be a father, to be a parent. And this is a very interesting concept. And the reason why I'm showing this to you, because I want you to learn this expression, to make room. What does it mean to make room for something? Because it's a kind of a figure of speech, right? You know what a room is. A room, it's an enclosed space between four walls. That's a room. But what does it mean to make room? Well, to make room means to make available space. So, for instance, if you move into a new house, right, and you need a special place for the furniture, and there is a room with a table and chairs right in the middle. So if you say to someone, look, we need to make room for the television, for example, I'm bringing in a television. So what do you have to do? You have to push the tables, right, and the chairs to the side of the room so that you have enough space for the new piece of furniture, you know, like a TV rack or something where you're going to put the television on. So this is what it means to make room. We make room for something. We create space for that. Now here, as I said, this is more like a figure of speech. And the idea is, okay, so you own the kids belong to you. But if you want me to be a father, you have to make room. So you have to think about that child's life, and you have to allow some some space that is traditionally or that in the absence of a father is filled up just by the mother. The mother is there 24 hours of the day with their child, you know, dedicated to them. But if you want your husband or your partner or the father of your kids to be a father, you have to allow him some space. So you cannot be 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week there with their kids. You have to allow some room, some space. You have to allocate some time for the father. I think that's a very interesting thing. And in the end, he also said something about being imperfect. In other words, a mother has to accept the fact that nobody's perfect. Your husband, the father of your kids is not perfect, and he's bound. He's likely to make mistakes, and you have to be prepared to accept him in spite of his flaws, in spite of his imperfections, because a man cannot be a father if if the mother of their child expect him to be perfect and never make any sort of mistakes. So that's the other thing that he says, which sounds very obvious, but I think that many couples watching a video like that might be touched by this concept that we must be allowed to be imperfect. I think that's a very interesting concept.